Today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about using YouTube playlists for your sub plans. So, what you'll see here, I have included an editable template that you can use to leave notes for your substitute in the case that you need to be absent. So, it's got the pertinent information here on the first page, as well as some instructions regarding the video and technology instructions. This is completely editable, so you can add and subtract what you see fit for your particular situation, as well as some places to include the various YouTube links that you might need to use. But let's look at what an actual playlist might look like. So I started doing this a couple of years ago, and I found it especially useful for absences that were planned. So in the case of January 22, I needed to be gone for a music conference, and so I knew I was going to be gone and had 2 days in a row that I would be missing my classes. So I prepared this playlist and also was able to prep my students for what was going to take place. So when I put together a playlist, the first thing that I'll do is find the videos that I want to incorporate and put them in the order that I feel is appropriate for the course. Now, I recommend if your class is an hour long, you might want 40 to 45 minutes worth of video, maybe even a little bit less depending on the activities. Account for some repeating of videos or transitional time. If they have some actual written work that they need to do to accompany a video, account for that in your time. Then the next thing that I do is record a screencast of me explaining the playlist and some of the activities. So you can see here, that's the first one in this particular playlist. I'm going through and giving instructions basically as the teacher for that day. And then it runs through the video content. So you can see I've got some warm-ups that I had the students complete, some solfege call and response. We also did some rhythm and body percussion play along, rhythm dictation. Now this is a resource that I have available from Sarah Stockton Resources. I also included the answer key so that students could correct their answers. So this is one, even though the videos are about 6 minutes, I would expect for this activity to take longer than that time allotted. So you'll just want to gauge that based on your own groups. Now, we did a key signature review, and then at the time, this was a piece that we were working on, and so I went through some of the pronunciation that we hadn't yet done in class, and then they had a listening example, and that filled up their class time. Now, for the second day that I needed to be gone, I did the same thing. I explained the playlist. We went through some warm-ups, some different warm-ups and a different rhythm play along. They did the next level of rhythm dictation and the answer key. Now, the day prior, they had done a video on key signatures. And so for this example, there were some key signature practice. I put some up on the screen, and I don't know if you can see in this very tiny thumbnail, this was a screenshot or a screencast rather of me speaking and talking through some of the examples and giving them an opportunity to practice along with me. We reviewed the pronunciation, and then they had an additional listening exercise. Now, I did put together a sample of resources that are available through Sarah Stockton Resources. This is a new introduction that I've recently created. This is an intro for the YouTube playlist subplans. You could put this at the beginning of every lesson that you create. I have a series of warm-ups, solfege warm-ups. This is a solfege call and response. These are just fun name that show sound clips that the students can guess what show is represented. Some solfege examples and time signature lesson. There's rhythm clap-alongs, a couple of those, and then the rhythm dictation again. Now, some of these are free resources for Sarah Stockton Resources, and some of them are paid, but I wanted to put together a sample of some of my own resources. But you can see I've done this with my own resources. I've done just a YouTube search and found some different ones that I was able to pull together as a playlist. And then what I did was just leave the link for the sub. Now, you might want to consider your school's policy on technology usage with a substitute. I know that does vary from school to school. I've been in a situation where my substitutes were allowed to log in and use YouTube and those resources. I can also link the playlist to the Google Classroom for my students to be able to access. So for me, this is a wonderful way to keep the students engaged, particularly on topics that we are currently studying during our course time if I do need to be out. I hope this is helpful and gave you some ideas about some sub-plans that you can put together if you need to be out. And as always, please visit sarahstocktonresources.com or my shop on Teachers Pay Teachers for more ideas and resources. Thanks and have a great day.